Nation starts over. Let's get into it. This is season 2, episode 7 of the series, and we can get into it. So, firstly, we're going to be going over here into Europe, where we're going to see the blue team invade this country. The blue team invades, the Cyan team. Why do they invade the Cyan team? Well, they want the Thrice region back. Makes sense, it has Istanbul, and also this is just historical land for them. And these are the same people, so basically some people might approve. And so basically they want to have the land back. So the blue team's troops are going to quickly be entering over into the Thracian region, quickly going ahead and taking some of these eastern parts. Eventually they are going to get pretty close to Istanbul/Constantinople, and they're getting close to taking the city. But this thing is a sort of decently powerful country-ish thing. But, well, they will be pushing back a bit. But this is the blue team, one of the most historical nations here. And they will be able to capture the city. And this is all the blue team wants, so they are going to offer that deal up to the Cyan team, saying, hey, if you surrender now, we won't take any of your land. And, well, the Cyan team is not going to accept that, because they will be recapturing the city. And what they will be doing is sort of like, doing that. But then the Cyan team makes an offering to the blue team. Hey, if you surrender in this war, we can give you the Thracian lands, just not Istanbul. And the blue team is like, no, the only reason we declared war on you was to get Istanbul, and you're making a deal with us to get everything but what we want? I don't think that's going to be allowed. So the Cyan team is going to continue pushing back. Wait, let me check the stability map real quick. I do have the stability map. Not there. There. No, that's the wrong map. Oh my. There it is. We can see that the stability in the green country is more... Basically, the Cyan country here is more stable than the blue country here. So there was a few protests, which makes some of the military population a little bit more willing to fight for the nation. So they have a little bit of overpowerness when it comes to the military. So they will be quick to go over and recapture this area. Eventually they won't be able to push back against the river, until the blue team will make another offensive over here, encircling a huge chunk of Cyan team troops. Now going up north, we can see that the Romanian country declares war on the blue team, as Romanian troops enter into the blue team just like the yellow team did back in the Italo-Slovenian War, which a while ago. No, before that, but yeah. But the Ukrainians will be Romanians will be quick to fully capture this river, which is really bad for the blue team, and the Romanians start to go down, eventually capturing this major city. But what's going to happen is the blue team, the Cyan team here, and the Romanians are going to make a deal saying, hey, if you let us make an alliance why am I over here? If you let us make an alliance together, we will give you what you want, but Romania will get some land, but not this major city, as long as we get to make an alliance together. And the blue team will accept this deal, and we can look at the peace treaty of this war. This is peace treaty of the war, as what the blue team fully annexes the Thracian region, and the Romanians get this territory. Which is basically this tiny piece of territory here, and this piece of territory here. And the blue team is reduced, but the Diamond Alliance is formed, and they are in official peace treaty for a while, so they can't be declared war upon by. Yeah. Going over down south to Anatolia, let's take a look at the stability map. As we can see, Anatolia is really unstable. Why is this? This is because of this country, actually. This little gray country here. Why are they unstable because of this? Well, let's just say these two countries, if their governments allowed it, they would unite into a big the Orange Republic or something like that. And but that's not allowed, as the governments of these nations are completely against each other. So against each other. They have totally different ideologies here. And this country is actually going to become a partial dictatorship, which doesn't really help the situation. They're just not in a good situation, but they are very different. So basically, well, this country is very against this one. But the people are wanting to go back and forth between these two countries all the time. And well, the orange country is very unstable because the government dislikes the country a lot, but the people love the country. So the people of the orange team are going to be like, nope, we cannot handle this anymore. We're revolting. And same thing goes in this country, and a revolution pops up. As the rebellion first pops up in the orange team, eventually taking and capturing this whole pod, and also a pretty large chunk of the northern farmers of this area will be rebelling because many of them are wanting to move to this country. And also this country. Basically, this country's entire eastern half just breaks away. That's not very good if you want to be a surviving country. And well, let's take a look at the stability map, if I can get it. As well, both of these countries' stability is in orange, is in the red, the dark red. Which, if you don't know what that means, it basically means they'll collapse. Yeah. This country will start by quickly sending its very small military that really dislikes it into this area. But the thing is, this rebellion is really powerful, so they won't be able to do much. But what will be happening is these two will connect up and they will move down here. This rebellion up here isn't very strong, so while some orange team pockets are going to be like sort of breaking away from the rebellion, and this one just falls. But the orange team and the cyan team here are in a temporary alliance as they work to attempt to defeat this rebellion and keep their countries alive. And well, they will be able to push back more. But seeing the situation here, there's still more issues. So, for some reason, the red team is going to declare war on the orange team to quote-unquote fix their issues. Yeah. So, the red team would probably the most powerful military in the world. Probably maybe behind the Italians, but probably strongest military. Yeah. As they quickly go ahead and very quickly take over these entire northern parts of the country, and well, they will just be fully taking out the orange team. As they also go in and invade this country and take its capital, and well, basically like this happens. Yeah. And well, what happens now? The red team doesn't personally believe in this rebellion, so they will be invading it and taking it out. Yeah. And now let's look at the treaty of this war. It's gonna be a messy one, just say. Ink. What is the peace treaty of the war? As the red team will be annexing this piece of land from the orange team and this land. And this land. That definitely doesn't look a little weird. But let's talk about ideologies now. As the ideologies of both these governments have changed, as they've both became developing democracies. By the red team, I think it might be time to move this guy. Yeah. But I'll move that later. But well, this country, the people are like going to become the flat democracy. Yeah. As their people are very nationalistic, and they believe that they can succeed in this sort of thing happening. And they believe that they can make their country powerful. Yeah. How are they going to make their country powerful, you may say? But but despite the religion of this nation being, well, what? Greek, they're going to decide, if I can find the letter, yeah, join the Circle Alliance, which is primarily a Mesopotamian alliance. The red team doesn't like that. They call it like going against the quote unquote against their religion. But well, what can they do? Mesopotamia is pretty powerful. You already have an alliance against you, and there's an alliance right there. And well, now a new alliance is bordering you. can you really do? Just saying. Yeah. Going down here, we can see that more nations, or mainly just the gold country, the Italians and the Algerians, are going to be going crazy exploring, or at least what their definition of crazy is for exploring North Africa. As they explore over into these areas over here. Yeah. And now we can see that the gold team is going to expand. The gold team is going to go ahead and start to expand around the coastlines, eventually taking these areas here. Maybe not like this area, but eventually they're just going to go ahead and take all the coastline of Africa over here. And this area is one of the most economically prosperous areas of the gold team, as it sort of makes them control the trade between these areas here. And, well, trade? If you want to trade with anybody from Iberia or to anybody over here, well, you're going to have to go through here, so that's something. Yeah. Where to go now? Let's go over here. As we can see, Egypt continue to mainly explore around their nation, as they have made a very large exploration force with some help from Mesopotamia, of course, as they are the third strongest country in the world. Let's take a look at power rankings real quick, though. As we can see, Italians are the strongest, the Greeks are the second, Mesopotamia third, France, and then Ukraine, yeah. Those are power rankings, top 5. Anything else you can think of yourself. But the Egyptians are just going to go crazy exploring, as they explore a lot over into this area over here. And also going over here, before getting back to Egypt, we can see a lot more exploration happening into North Africa. But they really can't get past this point, as they don't really want to explore too far into the Sahara Desert. But the Egyptians, because this is the Nile River, are going to go crazy exploring down. As one giant group continues to go down, eventually will be deciding to stop here before going back over to Egypt in order to report what they've seen. Yeah. Going back over here to Africa, we can see the Athens country make a small little landing thing in Libya in order to claim. The Italians do accept this, but the Athenians do claim this coast. But eventually a deal is going to be made to quote-unquote split Africa between Athens and Italy. So basically this line, everything past this line is going to go to Italy. Maybe the line looks more something like this. Everything here, down here, is Athens, and over here is Italian. So what they're going to do is both these countries are going to go ahead and basically make the official border between Athens and Greece directly over here in Africa. And Athens is going to continue to expand their colony as they work their way down the coastline and eventually discover many Egyptians. And Egypt doesn't like this because, well, this can be considered colonialism. Maybe not colonialism just yet, but kind of sort of like a form of it. The Egyptians do not like this, so they are going to go ahead and expand over into these regions over here, so Athens doesn't claim them. And this is going to make tensions between the Star Alliance and the Circle Alliance. But what can really happen? These are two pretty powerful alliances, but who would win? Probably the Star Alliance, but that's hypothetical. Going over to Iberia, we can see that, well, the Iberian country, the Land country, is going to be going ahead and invading Spain. As they go ahead and take its capital within the first few weeks, and, well, Spain is just going to surrender in order to live. And we can look at the peace treaty of this war. Very quick war. And this is the peace treaty of this war. As the Lime team will be annexing this land, and, well, making their borders expand. Let me remove the river layer. And this is basically what their nation looks like. Very consistent borders, I could just say. Yeah, very nice borders. Let's go to trade routes now. I haven't really mentioned these in a while. But what's going to happen is the Mesopotamians are going to continue to build their trade route. Let's just update them. The trade route that the Mesopotamians have been, it doesn't go like that. It should probably go to this major city, which it does. And the trade route the Mesopotamians have been working with a bunch of nations to build is going to look something like this. It goes up over here to this capital, going up this river, this capital, and they've built to about here and are working towards entering Slovenia or just entering Italy. Yeah. And the Mesopotamian trade route is also going to span all the way down this river and go here, eventually leading out from the Mesopotamian capital through this major city and through Egypt over here, eventually expanding over here. This is the full trade route so far, but building has been stopped by the blue team into the red team, which increases tensions between the red team and the Circle Alliance. The red team isn't in a very good situation, I would say. Yeah. Going over here, we can see the yellow team greatly expanding over here, eventually connecting to the Polish colony, and making this thing look, concerning, or just something, as the yellow team will be greatly expanding over into these German regions. And while they would be going ahead and, claiming all this territory, and claiming a majority of the river here. Yeah. But exploration is going to go into Denmark, as they eventually, the humans, the Europeans, discover all of Denmark. And the yellow team is just going to decide to work on making an official border over in this German region. And a country that's been around for a little while is going to do something again. As, this Benelux country is going to be expanding over here. And also this country is going to expand a bit, but let's just see where the borders meet. This is roughly where borders meet in Germany, as the whole German area is sort of divided. But the yellow team still isn't liked, as this looks a little weird, according to many people, but why am I talking about that? I don't know. But going over to England, we can see that the French continue to explore over up into the English area, as they go ahead and explore all the way up to England. Yeah, and eventually they explore up to here. Going over to Ukraine, we can see Ukraine start to mass explore over into here. They haven't actually expanded in a little while, but they won't expand yet. Wait, is that correct? Yeah, that's correct. As they go ahead and rapidly explore these rivers, as they work towards exploring greatly, as they go ahead, eventually discovering Russia, and while Russia is going to do a pretty similar thing, as with help from the purple team, are going to be able to explore a whole bunch of territory over in this region, as they go ahead and explore basically all this Russian area Europe. But Russia, because of this, is going to continue expanding, as they reach and claim this part of this river and reach and claim this part of this river. And the Russians, by themselves, will be going ahead and exploring a bit over into these rivers, eventually, getting very close to discovering the Baltics, which they don't know much about the war since they're new, sort of, but they do get a lot of help from the Ukrainians. But the Russians will be continuing to expand across here as they fully claim this river. Eventually, their territorial claims will look something like this. Yeah. And then a huge group, a huge leader, like a new alliance, let me make sure I have the right layer. A new alliance is formed. This one is sort of like an explorationist alliance, but this is sort of like an alliance to, explore Europe. I'm going to be making it, let's just make an economical alliance instead. The Square Alliance, as the Ukrainians, the Russians, this country, and the yellow team will be forming this alliance, and this alliance's goals are to expand over into Europe. Yeah, Eastern Europe to be exact, as they want to control the entire region. But first, before controlling it, they have to explore it. as they eventually will be going ahead and, well, the yellow team is going to do a lot of work over in the Baltics as they go ahead and discover Lithuania over here and go ahead and, well, eventually discover a huge chunk of Latvia as the Baltics are being explored greatly. Eventually, they will be exploring all the way up to Finland. That's a pretty large piece of area here. I would not expect that, but I guess they did. Well, this couldn't be done by a single nation, as all these nations have explored up into Europe. That's pretty large. Let's do our daily Chinese update, as we can see that the Chinese will be continuing to explore a bit more as they go ahead explore, eventually finding this river and discovering it, eventually going ahead and, well, exploring a lot more, as they have sort of like a pretty decent technology for their time. Yeah, but they do get to explore up. But also with exploring in this age comes with expanding, as the Chinese will be expanding over into these rivers, eventually will be claiming a pretty large chunk of territory for them, at least. And their new territorial claims at least, will be looking something like this. Yeah. And one final event for this video, a revolution in the red team finally happens, and I think I can update this now. Let's just put these outline for now. Why am I here? I don't know, but a revolution in the red team happens. As the red team's stability has finally caught up to them, and the Democratic Republic of Greece officially, was that a good name? No. The Democratic Republic of Yugoslavia breaks away from Greece, and the stability has finally caught up to them, and the red team is in civil war. And that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed today's scenario where civilization started over. See you in the next episode, where we will see the Yugoslav Greek Revolution. Let's get into... Bye!